We can speak to Radwan Ziadeh, the Executive Director of the Syrian Center for Political and Strategic Studies. He's joining us on the line from Washington. Hello to you, Radwan. Thank you for speaking to us. What struck you the most about this fighting?
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me. It's a little bit complicated, but when the opposition forces control Aleppo back in 2012, Russia, the Syrian regime depends on Russia, especially Russia intervened in September 2015. Now we see a total collapse of the Syrian regime forces and the forces, the Shiite militias, the Iraqi and Hezbollah militias who supported Assad. This is why we see the total collapse of those militias who decided to withdraw from the city of Aleppo. And then the opposition forces, they came in and controlled most of the areas in Aleppo. It's of course landmark because the opposition never reached some areas in Aleppo neighborhood right now back in 2012. It gave us maybe a hope that the Syrian opposition forces will be able to control the whole city for the first time since 2011.
Yeah, and in the past 15 minutes, Reuters is reporting that Syrian rebels say that they have all of Idlib province now under rebel control. Do you expect that we're going to see more and more fighting in this and that the civil war will sort of be reignited?
I think the Syrian opposition will control most of the Idlib because the news now, the Syrian opposition control Ma'arat al-Nu'man and al-Duhur airport. Those two areas, as example, the Syrian opposition lost thousands of lives back in 2013, 2014, and were unable to capture any of these territories. Now, with the collapse of the Syria regime and with the collapse of most of the militias cooperated within the Syria regime, it's clear that the opposition have the path forward open to be able to capture more areas, maybe go more to the south, maybe the city of Homs and Hama. It's not clear that the Russians and other militias, the Shia Iranian militias and Hezbollah will be able to step in and help because Hezbollah is defeated in Lebanon between the fight between Israel and Hezbollah. At the same time, Russia is involved militarily in Ukraine and very busy there. I'm not sure we'll be able to step in and help the Assad government back here in Syria.
And are you linking this uptick in fighting with the ceasefire in Lebanon at all?
I don't think there is a link because from the footages and the videos, we've seen almost every second in Aleppo. Most of the fighters actually are Aleppoan citizens who left the city. Don't forget that Idlib used to be 500,000 people. Idlib now is 3 million people because of the refugees and displaced people in Aleppo and in other areas. They are celebrating that because they are be able to go back to their homes and their towns in Aleppo and in other areas. It's a very much complicated because it's not only Hayat Tahrir al-Sham or al-Nusra Front control most of the opposition forces. It has 5 different armed opposition forces who come together to have what's called deterrent of the aggression of the Syria regime and to be able to go back to their homes. I expect that we'll be able to have more momentum and capture more territories in the Aleppo suburbs and in Idlib suburbs, maybe to be able to reach Hama, which now most of the Syria regime forces withdraw into the city of Hama.
Yeah, and there's already been blame traded as to how the rebels have made these advances. Iran's Revolutionary Guards accuse Israel of supporting the rebels. Others speculate it's Turkey that is supporting the rebels. What do you think?
Some fractions of the Syrian armed opposition backed by Turkey for sure. But some other fractions, they are not really in a good terms with Turkey. This is why I see it's the motivation of the Syrian armed forces. I think it's more internal than be triggered by external power or between external power like Turkey or the United States, as the Syrian regime accused the rebel forces backed and supported by the United States and Israel. I don't think this matter anymore. This war, it's been more than 13 years. We should not forget that. And more 7 million Syrians displaced in the north. They have the resources and they have the anger. They have actually the passion to go back and to participate in any military operation to be able to air their cows. And remember that the Syrian regime has no legitimate argument and has no forces to support, has no human power. He really relies on Hezbollah and other Iranian militias like Fatimiyun and Zainabiyun. And those got tired and they got actually defeated and hit hard by the Israeli forces in the 2 months fight between Israel and Hezbollah. This is why I think those militias who's been the backbone of the Syrian regime forces in Aleppo, disseminated and withdraw. They decided to withdraw, and there's what the Syrian regime has no forces to step in and to keep the points.
All right, Radwan, thank you very much. Radwan Ziadeh joining us from Washington. Thank you.